I fucked up. We're gonna diagnose this thing together. Dogbox just asked if I want to like hop on a call. Hello friends, I have loads of plant chores to do, so many that I've written them down, otherwise I will forget them, that I wanted to do with y'all. Some of these are rescues as well. I've got some plants that are not looking in the best of shape that we need to do something about, and I've just been staring them in the face, watching them go down and down and down and down for a couple weeks now and not doing anything about it, just because I know it's gonna take a minute. It kind of sucks, but that's okay. I am looking forward to doing them with y'all today, and I have a feeling this is going to be a long one. So grab yourself a hot drink or some plant chores for yourself so we can do them together, and let's get into it. Before we do though, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate you returning. Now, these chores. Let me read you out what we got on the plan today. First up is my Cebu Blue rescue. That needs to happen now. That's the one I've just been watching decline and decline, and I think I need to start it over from fresh, unfortunately, so that's going to be intense. I want to repot my new Thai constellation into semi-hydro, and it's been experiencing some issues as well that I wanted to talk you through and like talk through my thought process with them, because I feel like that's an interesting thing to do. This is my new Thai from B&Q, by the way. Already having issues. Am I slating B&Q's quality of plants? No, because I'm glad I was able to get it. I don't regret the purchase in the slightest, but we can get into that in a bit. I want to give my Splendid moss pole an extension because that's just growing so incredibly fast. I want to put some allocations into semi-hydro, do some other semi-hydro repots, potentially do my melanonii repot if I have a big enough pot. If I don't, I have to go out and get one, which I can totally do. That's not a problem, but I might need to do that. And then I need to cut my aerial roots off of my Tycon because they're literally reaching the carpet. You can kind of see them just there. Just there. They're getting really long. I don't need that. We're just gonna cut them off because it doesn't really matter. And it kind of like, I don't want them to dig into the carpet and like actually mess up our flat. And then last but not least, I got some new fertilizer that I wanted to try with you, and we can go around and fertilize some plants. But yeah, we've got a lot on the agenda today and all day to do it. I've got the flat to myself. Joe's out at work, so it's just you and me, and we will get this stuff done. I mean, I guess we're in here, so I may as well do the cutting of those first because that's going to take all of 2 seconds, and it would have taken all of 2 seconds a month ago when I first thought of it. And I still didn't do it. I think I kind of wanted to show you as well and just like kind of see how far they got, because they have gotten really freaking long. Here is my Tycon, and it's these two aerial roots that are just going down and 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 down to the point where they're literally touching the carpet. And what I don't want is I don't want that to bury its way into the carpet, because that can make things harder and it could continue growing underneath the carpet and like be a really bad time. So I have to cut this now before it gets too bad. I tried to like kind of angle them towards the pot because you can see I have several aerial roots in here that go into the pot, and those are doing perfectly well, but these ones just didn't want to. And I've also got this random aerial root that's doing that. Trying to go towards the pillow, not really sure why it's doing that. So we're gonna cut all of these off. You don't need these aerial roots on the Monstera. It is not necessary. Okay, that one is connected to that. So that one, I could like put a vase of water down at the bottom and hope that they go into that, or like direct them into that. But I really don't need to. Look how long that is. Oh my gosh. You don't need to do that. You can just cut them off. It doesn't really harm the plant too much because as of right now, the plant isn't getting any nutrition from this root right here. It's not like going into water, it's not going into like fertilizer, and so it's not actually benefiting the plant at all. And I'm honestly surprised that the cats haven't gone for it, because it's like kind of snake looking vibes. I think it doesn't move around all that much, and so that's helped. But just cutting it off is kind of the best bet. Actually, I'll cut that one off as well. And they will regrow. Like, it's not a permanent situation. It's not a permanent thing. Like, they will regrow. And that's okay. I have no problem with that. I'll probably just cut them off again. But you can leave them if you want. But I feel like, not that they're invasive, but they can muck up your home if you're not too careful about it. So it's worth keeping an eye on your arrowroots on monsteras, because they can get a little bit intense. Oh my god, I cannot believe the longest one of this are these two, and they're literally probably over a meter long. Intense. But I love it. Like, it just means that the plant is searching out for like more stability, and I know I need to put this one on a new moss pole. That is something that will happen at some point once my other Tycon, which I suppose we could do next, once my other Tycon has like settled into semi-hydro life and is done dealing with the problem that I am noticing on it. Let me get that, and we can do it next and show you what's going on with that, because it doesn't look great, but I've kind of just been like waiting on it to see what happens. Let's see if you can see the problem. The other reason I haven't done anything on it was because I was waiting for a new self-watering pot. Good old classic Elho 17 centimeter insert, the OG size. We can pop this together. Okay, so let's talk about this before I do anything. This is my Tycon that I got from B&Q for £25. If you haven't gone and watched my shopping video, highly recommend it. It's a fun one where I find these ties. I'm very excited about it. I obviously bought one, and since then I've had it in my bathroom to quarantine, because I knew for a fact it had fungus gnats, given my bathroom is windowless and the ventilation's not amazing, but it's windowless and dark, and so this is obviously not the ideal place for this one to go, but I didn't want the fungus gnats or any other possible pests on this one to come out and spread. I did check it before I bought it for pests. I didn't see any. The only thing that I saw was fungus gnats, and it was like not wet but not dry when I got it, so I let it go for a few days, and then I watered it the other day, and so now it's watered. Before I watered it even, and like even in the first couple of days after getting the plant, I noticed that some brown spots were starting to form on this leaf, and it's only this leaf and the new leaf, but the new leaf kind of had these ones that were what I think is physical damage from like being fragile as it was coming out and being transported and stuff. So I'm not too worried about the ones on the new leaf, but I noticed some dark spots appearing on this. You can even see it in my favorites video. There's a couple that are like starting to show up, but I've kind of just been watching and waiting with it to see what happens. And I have my suspicions about what it is, but I need to go and look before we find out more clearly. So this to me could be one of three things. It could be one, cold damage, but if it were cold damage, I feel like it wouldn't have spread like this, like started small and spread. It doesn't feel like that, because it also was not incredibly cold when I bought it. It hasn't been cold in my house. I don't think it's cold damage. It still could be, but I kind of doubt it. It could also be root rot, which is kind of what I'm leaning towards, because the people who work in big box stores, they don't necessarily know how to take care of plants and their watering needs and stuff like that. So root rot is somewhat common in plants from big box stores, and so like that's the risk you run when you're buying a plant from a big box store, and that's okay. But in order to find that out, I need to check the roots, which didn't look bad when I got them. They didn't look like they were in a bad place, and so I kind of also don't think it's that, but we're gonna check right now. It very well could be, but I feel like if it was root rot, it'd be affecting more than just the one leaf. And so my final thought is potentially it's fungal, which is possible. I know someone in my comments also mentioned that they got one of these B&Q ties and it is now presenting signs of fungal issues. I haven't experienced tons of fungal issues in my time, or maybe if I have, I haven't noticed, but I feel like if it's not root rot, fungal makes the most sense because fungal can affect just one leaf. I don't think this one necessarily has a little bit where there's like a bit of a ring around the dark parts, like a yellow ring. I think that's normally a sign of fungal, but like other bits of the leaf don't have that yellow ring. So I'm not entirely sure. But it is more likely for it to be an isolated thing on a single leaf like that. So my plan with this one is I wanted to repot it anyway because I don't want it to have it in soil long term. So that's fine. My plan today is to go in, check the roots on this one. If they're rotting, which I don't think they are, but they might be. If they're rotting, we know that that's probably the issue. If they're not rotting, we can kind of assume that it's fungal, and if it is fungal, we're going in with the scissors and we're chopping off this leaf. I could just chop the leaf off anyway. Better safe than sorry. I might do that. But I do want to check out the roots first before we make any sort of formal diagnosis on it, because that just feels like the better option. And then I suppose we can see when this leaf comes out as well, whether or not it is looking like it's fungal as well. I kind of think this is just inconsistent, like watering and a change of environment while a new leaf's coming out. That's like kind of normal. I can't always expect a new leaf to come out perfectly. When I've literally transported it on a train, it was coming in from probably cold to warm in the store. Like, that's kind of normal. So that's my thought process on this one. And I don't think I've ever like gone through my thought process like this with y'all before, so I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're not yelling at me through the screen saying it's this, it's that, or if you are, let me know down below in the comments what you think it is. Because I'm working on this with you. We're gonna diagnose this thing together. So without any further ado, let's check out these roots, and that will kind of be the determining factor on what's going on with my tie. So obviously this is going to be moist because I watered it the other day. And the one thing I did notice is when I originally got it, it did have one root coming out of the bottom, and I think that root has specifically died off and it is gone a little bit rotty. So there's the tiniest bit of root rot that I've seen so far, but I don't think it's like a big deal of root rot. But that's just looking without actually going in. Like, I don't see anything that's like mega sludgy or giving me cause for massive concern yet. So let's get more of this soil off. You can kind of see as well where it was in the previous pot size, like the previous pot size, and then they upgraded it to this one and didn't do like a crazy good job of that. But I'm gonna try and be as gentle as possible here, because I don't want to be breaking too many more, especially if it's already having some sort of issues. The other reason to get this soil off is because it is got fungus gnats in it, and I don't particularly want to treat everything in my collection again. I mean, I did just use nematodes, beneficial nematodes, so it's not like the end of the world if I have to, but if I can avoid it, I would like to. Some really beautiful chunky roots in there though. Definitely on the root brown side. Originally I did buy a 15 centimeter one of these, but once I got it, I realized that's actually not at all an upgrade in the pot. I probably should have just measured before I did it, but because I feel like this is probably 15 centimeters. It's 14 centimeters, so it wouldn't have been an upgrade at all. So glad I got the 17 because it'll give it a little bit more room in its new pot, because that amount of rootage needs more space. It is quite jam-packed in here, and you can see there's literally no drainage in this. And so that is another sign that's kind of leading me towards root rot, because there's probably not enough air in this pot for these roots to thrive, because monsteras do like a bit of aeration around their roots. That's why we use such a chunky soil when I do repot them. The chunky soil is full of like perlite and bark and all of these bits that are gonna give the roots air space, and they haven't had that kind of at all because this soil is so dense. And that might be fine in a greenhouse setting, but it's not going to be fine in our homes where they're not getting hella light and they're not drying out super duper fast. But it also makes it quite difficult to unpot because there's like not many gaps in it, and I don't really want to break things. It'd probably be easiest like dunk it in water. Oh, should I do that? Should I go get a basin and some water and dunk it? Unless they're literally breaking off in the soil, I'm not noticing any sort of sludgy roots, which is kind of a good sign. Maybe like a little bit, but not really. Like nothing to be concerned about, really. Okay. Gone for like lukewarm, slightly warmer than room temperature water, and just dunking the roots will hopefully get it to come off a little bit easier. Loosen it up a little bit, because I feel like soil, when it's like fully wet, because I watered this a few days ago, so it's not like drenched right this second. So it's not that easy to come out. You can again see where that first pot spiral is. Look at that. But yeah, when soil is fully dry or fully like under running water is when it's easiest to get off. When it's anywhere in between, this soil specifically, where it is probably mostly peat or cocoa, is gonna like present a problem isn't the right word, but like put up a fight. And I was gonna need to wash the roots to put them in semi-hydro anyway, so it's not like this is a bad thing. But if I were just putting this in soil, I probably wouldn't, I definitely wouldn't have gone this hard. I wouldn't be trying to get all of the soil off. I probably would have tried to loosen it a little bit, but you don't need to go this far with it if it's just going into soil. But because I want to get all of the soil off to go in semi-hydro, this is kind of a very necessary step. But just to get it like aerated would have been fine for if it was going into soil. At this point, I've kind of stopped being gentle as well, and if I do have pieces of root that come off, it's like kind of so be it. Because it does, like, it has a very, very, very big root system, so tiny bits that are coming off isn't going to be the end of the world. Obviously, I don't want to break things if I can help it, but if some pieces do break a little bit, it's okay. Oh, interesting. This leaf, I've just noticed, is starting to do the same around there and a little bit on this side. Okay, so there might be 2 leaves coming off of this, which would kind of suck. Okay. I think that's the best I'm gonna get. I think that's pretty good, actually. Look at that. I am going to run it under the tap, just because obviously this water is quite mucky now. So I'll run it under the tap to make sure any like last minute bits are off. But it does have a very, very healthy root system. I'm not really seeing what I would consider root rot. So I feel like that kind of, to me, says I should cut, at the very least, this leaf off. I don't know if I will cut this leaf. I think once we repot it, we'll see what happens with it and if it gets worse or not. Because if it gets worse, then I can cut it off. But if it doesn't, then I'll just leave it as is, and like it can have a couple of brown spots. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, I'm not seeing classic telltale signs of root rot in here. Just gonna cover up that pile of nastiness, and we can pop this into the pot. Oh, also, let's just do this before we do that. Just gonna boop. Bye bye, sad leaf. Before I use the scissors on anything else, I'll make sure to clean them. I mean, it's a bit of a shame because obviously it was nicer with an extra leaf on there, but the main leaf, this guy, that's the one that matters the most. And then we can put you in there like that. Yes, very glad I ordered the bigger size because this would not have fit in a 15 centimeter, like, comfortably. And once this adjusts, I can put it in with my other big tie. That's kind of the plan. And then get them both on a moss pole. Look at that. Looking so good. Hopefully it likes its new semi-hydro home. I think it will. Should I do my other semi-hydro bits while I'm here and the semi-hydro's out? I think so. Give me a second, let me get them. So here are the other bits that I want to do. First off, we have, this is so hard to show, the Begonia bipinnatifida, which has recovered so nicely, and now I'm afraid I'm going to traumatize it again. It's okay. It should be fine. I think it will just prefer having slightly more constant access to water, and probably in a no drainage setup. I feel like that's probably the best bet. And then I've got some alocasia venoms that I have in fluval and perlite that I'm going to pop as well. But let's do this one first. This is the smallest vessel I have, but I figure I could pot it like that deep. I could pot it quite deep, actually, and kind of bring these towards each other. I'll pot it quite deep and see how it goes. I also brought over a trellis in case I think it needs it, but it has recovered so well to coming out of the pond box. And I am not going to mess with these roots at all. I'm literally just gonna go straight in with that. Oh, and actually, if I cover more of these stems with the semi-hydro, it kind of allows it to root further down, which I think could be quite helpful. Yeah. Do I want to put this in, the trellis, to give it more support? I kind of don't. This is actually probably not tall enough for that, so probably not. I can just keep doing that. There we go. Oh gosh, it's so hard to see. I think that looks quite good. It's not perfect by any means, but I can always tie them together as well. I don't really feel like I need to, though. And it's got loads of room down here for the water reservoir, which I think it will like quite a lot. So that's good. And then these ones should be pretty easy. So I've got so many alocasia venoms now, it's kind of crazy. These ones actually came from the States. Crazy. Someone knew that I really wanted one, and this was before I got any alocasia venoms from TC or anything. And essentially they were like, I really want to send you one. And I'm like, okay, do so at your own risk, because there's no guarantee. And so they did a really good job at disguising it in like as a birthday present, but like with loads of other stuff to like throw anyone off the scent. And no one, like it didn't even get checked, I don't think, because it wasn't like labeled as plant material, which yes, I know is technically illegal, but I didn't do it. It wasn't me. They made that choice for themselves, and I did warn them that it might not show up to me. So I can't believe it did, though. It came so fast. I think they did like 2-day shipping or something with UPS, and it surprisingly worked. So not to encourage that behavior because it's illegal, but if you want to try, that's your prerogative. And I'm incredibly grateful because I love alocasia venoms and I'm enjoying having so many baby ones. But this corm, unfortunately, the main leaf on it broke off in transit, so I lost its like main leaf, but it then sprouted 2 growth points, which like is incredibly exciting. Also, it's a lot darker in leaf than my other venoms. So we'll see what happens with it. Like, I'm just so glad that I was able to save it because it did go through like an absolute ordeal. Because it's not got a crazy root system, but the fluvels worked really well for it. So that can go in like, oh no. Okay. I just like barely tapped it and the second one came off, but luckily they're both rooted, so I'm not worried about it. So I can just put them slightly further apart now. That, and then this little guy, I don't know if this one's going to survive or not because its roots are trash. Being in a container this small, it dries out so fast, and under some bright grow lights without a lid, it dried out way too fast. So it's possible that I lose this little guy, but this is a little corm that, again, someone gave me. And we can just hope and pray that I'm able to keep it. If I can't, it's not the end of the world, but I will try nonetheless. I'll be getting these into a vessel with substrate that they're going to be in for longer, I think will be good. And eventually I might pot all of my venoms into the same thing, like down the line, but as of right now, I kind of want to let my TC1 do its own thing so I can keep y'all updated on it. But that is what we got. They're so dark. Beautiful, but dark. Cool. So let me get these watered and we can put these guys at least back in the cabinet. I don't know exactly where I'm going to put my Tycon. Oops. Like, I know it's planned long term, but short term, I'm not entirely sure. Caught Cosmo attempting to eat the flower. You maniac. Cosmo, look at me. Look at me. Cosmo. Cosmo, baby. This is what I'm saying. He just goes for it. Like, I get it. Like, it's not the end of the world because they're non-toxic, but I'm gonna let him eat it. Why not? Didn't manage to get it all the way off, but there we go. Also, my Hoya carnosa hasn't popped yet. I'm kind of surprised by that because I swear it looked like it was gonna pop the other day, but it still has not, which is very exciting. They're gorgeous flowers. Oh, Love it. Cannot wait for these to pop. With the Tycon, I'm actually gonna swap it with the Ernestii for this spot in the southwest facing window. Yeah, I think it will like it there, I hope. And the Ernestii I can go somewhere else for right now. But I was chatting a little bit more to Claire about the damage on that one, and she seriously thinks that it's cold damage. And the more I look into cold damage, the more I agree, and it can develop. So it's quite possible that all of the monsteras that they had in B&Q have had cold damage because they were shipped when it was like too cold at night, and so they had just got them in and they weren't showing signs of cold damage yet. But then when I brought it to my house like a week later, it started developing the cold damage marks, which kind of sucks. There's nothing really you can do about it because there's no way of knowing that the plant has had cold damage and it will develop. There's no way of knowing that. It's impossible. And so I feel like this is one of the reasons why it's not necessarily amazing to buy plants from big box stores. It is the risk you run. Their plants aren't going to be as good. And yes, I probably could go to B&Q with my Monstera that's now not looking as good like 2 weeks later and be like, hey, I want to return this, and they'll probably throw it in the bin. But I feel like you're more likely, one, a successful plant if you're buying from an independent plant shop because they know better how to take care of their plants and treat their plants and make sure that their plants are in good condition. And two, I feel like it has a little bit more of a personal touch, whereas like if I messaged a plant shop that I got a plant from that like a week later it was starting to like develop brown spots out of the blue when I've done zero to it, I feel like I'm more likely to get a response and get that fixed. Because also then like I wouldn't need to go out to B&Q. Because it took me an hour to get to B&Q, so it's kind of a pain. But I think cold damage makes sense. It could still be fungal. I think I've ruled out root rot now that I've gone through the roots and seen that there's no rot. So could be cold damage, could be fungal. I've removed the leaf. We will see how it continues. If it continues developing on the other leaves, then we can assess that down the line. But I think it should be okay, and I think it'll like it in this spot here. Now I just need to hope that Cosmo doesn't try and eat it. And find a new space for this one. Honestly, I'm kind of tired of my Ernestii. I'm kind of over it. It looks so, I don't want to say ugly, but it does. It's like not growing particularly nicely for me, so I don't know how I feel of it. It doesn't need to go in like pride of place anymore, whereas my desk is just behind where the camera is. Oh, by the way, we rearranged the house again. As you can see, there's no couch here. We've moved my desk into the office area, and so when I'm sitting right behind you, I can look at my Monstera and enjoy it. We can also do the Cebu blue now because I've just been staring at that while sitting at my desk as well, thinking I need to do something about it. I fucked up. I think it's pretty safe to say that. I fucked up with my Cebu blue. And basically the only tiny bit that's looking okay is the top. The rest of the entire thing is looking like trash. And I am pretty positive it is all my own fault. Oh my gosh. Look at the entire root system at the back. I think I just let this pole get too dry. And I think I need to start over with it, which is kind of really sad because this was my first ever plant I put on a moss pole. This was my first Cebu blue. Like, it's from the original plant that I got for 15 pounds for a 2-leaf cutting, which is crazy how cheap it is now comparatively. And I think that I just need to start over with it and prop these top bits. And you know what? I think I might go through and wet stick prop the bottom as well. I know I'm not the biggest fan of propagating things at the minute, but I feel like it Claire said I should. If you're on my Patreon, you won't have seen that my last Patreon video was Claire. She came around and basically told me all of the like plant care things she wanted me to do that I was either like overlooking or putting off. And one of the things, because obviously she saw this being terrible, she said that I should go through and wet stick prop all of the, not all of, but like a good chunk of the wet sticks in here that are gonna like be here when I remove all of the like crappy leaves. So that's what I'm gonna do with this one. Highly recommend you go join my Patreon and go check out that video because it is a fun one. I love filming with Claire. So yeah, let's sort out this BS. So I did just spray my scissors with isopropyl. That's why they're glistening slightly because of obviously the potential fungal issues on the Monstera. I don't know if that's what it is or not, but rather safe than sorry, and it's good practice to clean your tools. So let's cut this bad boy off. And it is decently attached to the pole as well, so like it might be kind of hard to get out. Oh my gosh. I cannot pull this away from the pole. This node is like in there. Okay, so we're gonna have to cut off some roots. Slightly less fun. I was hoping I would just kind of be able to pull these out, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Even this bit at the top here, it's rooted into the, do I just wanna, oh, I could cut, because there's a seam here. I could chop and extend because this is so solidly in here, and all of the issue is below this join. And it was starting to size up as well, so I don't think that'd be the worst thing. It's starting to size down again because it stopped having pole, but I could chop and extend. Actually, I am gonna chop and extend. I actually feel way better about that than, like, I was prepared to start over, but I feel better about chopping and extending, so okay. Oh my goodness. This pole is just so big. So I need to chop. There we go. And I will probably have to cut some roots in the pole, but that's okay. Also, when Claire was here, she mentioned that the bottom of the pot, or like the pot at the bottom, is like quite small for the size of the plant. So it's quite possible that I mean, basically I could pot it up in a bigger size, is what I'm saying. It just doesn't feel like too big of size when it's just the one section. It only starts feeling like it's too small once I've got 3 poles strapped together. Let's see if we can easily separate this. I mean, you can hear how crunchy the moss is. Not a good sign. I think I let it dry out too much on all counts. There we go. Okay, so not loads of breakage, I don't think. There we go. It does look kind of sad like this, because it's just 2 vines. You know what? What I think I need to do is take some propagations as well from my other one and put them in the bottom of this. Obviously not right now because it's not got, but down the line. I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. And I will need to put an extension on this one as well. Okie doke. But yeah, if I could fill this out a little bit more, I think it would look better as well. Let's sit down and we can sort this out. Okay, I massively need to put in a soil order, not soil, yeah, soil order, but sphagnum moss order and get more soil, but I am just gonna put this, oh, but I wanted to extend the splendid as well. This one needs the rescuing right now, so I'm gonna do this one first. Oh my gosh, this sphagnum is so dry. how. And very jam-packed in. Oh, I've really failed this one. Cosmo. These are my thoughts. Because I'm not keeping the bottom bit and I'm gonna do it for props, I am going to use the pot that this one's in for now, because I do want to do those propagations, and when I put those propagations in, I will put it in a bigger pot, because I don't think it needs a big pot right this second. It'll need a bigger pot later down the line. And I know this pot fits perfectly, so it should be fine. Also, there was hella roots coming out the bottom. I think I just messed up in so many ways on this one. Oh my God. Yeah, look how rooted it is in there. That was my fault entirely. It's okay. Yeah, so the pot it was in, definitely too small. For the time being only, until I put more props in, this will be fine. After that, I will need to give it a bigger pot. And, you know, water it more regularly. Leave it, baby. Please. Don't eat. And I was thinking putting a front opening on the top of it. This guy. Because it would be easier. I think. So, you go in like that. They're not quite the same size though. So it's like not ideal. I might just have moss for now to fill in this bit, which is fine. And when I order more, I can do a big extension on it. Because yeah, this is not enough to do any more than that. I guess I won't be extending my Splendid today. Won't be extending this one either, but I can chuck this in the shower because it probably needs it. But let me pop some soil in. I only have anthurium and orchid soil, so it is a little bit chunky, but it should be fine for now, especially since I'm putting it on the moss bowl, and in theory, I am, or it's getting a lot of its moisture from the moss pole. It should be okay. I mean, there's not that much difference between the Monstera stuff and the Anthurium stuff. I think I just prefer the Anthurium stuff, or the Monstera stuff a little bit more for, like, epibremnums specifically. Cosmo's little head watching every move I make. Weep. It's so cute. I mean, it doesn't look amazing, but it looks like what it is, which is in a better spot. And I'll need to find somewhere I can put it up a little bit taller. Now, let's go in here with this guy and cut some wet sticks. Let me zoom you in. I am gonna have to cut, okay, well, let's remove all these nasty leaves first. I mean, it basically makes the entire plant bald. Yeah, a lot of this has just dried up a little bit too much. I have some that I might be able to save on this vine, and these ones are the really like beautiful big leaves. So let me, I I'm just gonna have to cut these vines off entirely from the pole. So like any aerial roots that they have in there are no more. Oh my gosh, look at those leaves. Those are the only bits that have been okay. So if I pop it in a jar of water, do that, and then chop that one. I don't think it's gonna, like, will wet sticks in a jar, will they prop? I genuinely don't know the answer to that question. My like first thought is that like they wouldn't, but who knows? Anything could happen these days. I just feel like they're quite dehydrated in here, so I don't know. Let me grab a jar of water. Cosmo, look after anything. Don't eat anything. So there we go. Just some wet sticks and this vine in water. Hopefully they do something. I guess I'll just pop this on the side. Full stop. That's the end of the sentence. I guess I'll just pop this on the side and maybe put it under some grow lights in hopes that it does something. So I'm just kind of checking it for pests. I don't think it has any. But yeah, that's what we're working with. Oh my goodness, I was just taking a break and popped on Instagram and I saw that I had a message from The Real Doc Block, who I'm actually meeting and hosting a panel with next week. So during Chelsea week, The Real Doc Block is going to be in London because the Doc Block Michelle is on the finalist list for the RHS Plant of the Year. So obviously he's going to be around Chelsea, and Grow Tropicals have set up an evening with Doc Block for the Monday night, and they've asked me to host a panel between Doc Block and Jacob, the founder of Grow Tropicals. And Doc Block's just asked if I want to hop on a call later today to meet each other and I don't know, just have a quick chat. Which is freaking crazy. So surreal. I don't even have a Doc Block. I wish I had a Doc Block. But I haven't been able to afford a Doc Block Michelle. At least in the UK, they're not near as accessible. I know you can kind of get them in big box stores in the US, but they're still on the expensive side. They're not a cheap anthurium. They're really, really cool. I don't know, it might be some sort of red crystallinum vibe. It's this beautiful, dark, lovely, beautiful anthurium that he created and named after his wife. I haven't really been able to get one here in the UK because a small plant was still like, at least last year it was like 130 pounds. I know they have dropped because they are becoming more available now, and I think the RHS will be stocking them at some point because he was a finalist for the RHS Plant of the Year kind of thing. And I know they're not like a new plant, but like relatively in terms of plants, like the entire history of plants, they are new. So yeah, really looking forward to like meeting him today. So surreal. Yeah, like, just, I feel like he's one of like the big names in the anthurium world, at least, which I'm not particularly in, but I'm really looking forward to hosting this talk and meeting him next week. And so I will put the link in the description because this video will come out Friday. There might still be tickets at the minute. If there isn't, I'm so sorry, but if there are still tickets, the link will be down below in the description if you're in London to come out to this evening, which is super exciting. It's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. And you might get a chance to meet the Mr. Dog Block himself. The Dr. Blocker? The Dog Block himself. Oh my god. Why am I like this? I need to not be embarrassing on this phone call. So yeah, that's going to be in a couple of hours. Because obviously, 5 hours less time in Miami than it is here. So, oh, cool. That'll be fun. I'm gonna finish doing some quick Instagram admin and then we can get back to plant tour stuff. Though I'm feeling really good about how much I've gotten done today so far. Hello there.
Hello, Emma. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Oh my god. I've just spent the last hour talking to the Doc Block on the phone. We had a video chat. He told me all about him and showed me around his garden and his greenhouses and stuff, which was amazing. Gorgeous plants, not just anthuriums, like so many beautiful plants. Yeah, it's just astonishing. I am very jealous of the Florida weather, but I'm very excited to get to meet him in person and speak to him more. Lots of really cool things to say. He's a very interesting guy. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. This wasn't how I expected my day to go. I still have so much more plant stuff to do. I mean, not loads, but a good chunk still. So I have done the Cebu Blue Rescue. I've done the Tycon repot. I can't do this Splendid extension anymore. I've done the Venoms and the Bipinati Fitta and the Tycon Aerial Roots. So the only things I do have left, I actually don't have very much left, is doing some fertilizing. I can show you the fertilizer I got. So I got a couple things actually because I wanted to try it. Number one, I got Nurture System number 10 Armor X, which is a protective silicone shield. It's using silica for plants, which I'm interested in trying out. And the other thing is in this wrapped package. It's a fertilizer that I haven't seen on the UK markets before. I don't know where it's from originally. I have no information about it, but I saw it on Amazon and I was like, interesting. I want to know more. And so it's from Expert Nutrients and it's an AB fertilizer, which I've never used an AB fertilizer before. I don't really know why it's AB or what the point of it is. I don't understand, but it's an AB. And I got the tiniest little, like, look at these adorable little jugs. How freaking cute are they? So I got this because I felt like trying it. I don't think it's a houseplant specific fertilizer because this one says it's for like the vegetative state, but it's good for growing strong plants. It's got, it's NPK is, one of them's 2.500, one of them's 227, and then one has calcium and magnesium in it, as well as if I add it in with silica, we can do like a full thing. They also sent me an apple cinnamon car air freshener, which is fun. I don't have a car, So maybe I'll just hang this in my house so it smells good. Or give it to Claire or something. Fun. Anyways. Oh, shall we do some fertilizing? I'm gonna repot that plant. I can do it. Let me... Oh, my mind is just so scrambled now because, like, the tiny change in my day has caused everything to be out of whack. Yeah, let me go get a pot really quick. We can repot my melanonii and then go and do some fertilizer-y bits. Cool. Okay, managed to get a pot. I wanted to get a clear one. They didn't have any big enough clear ones, so I didn't. But it is well overdue, this repot. You can see how much of the plant has come out of the pot. It's more than time for sure. I've just not done it, really, is the only answer. It's such a big plant. I am always worried that, is this even gonna fit in here? No. Okay. What are my options then? Let me see if I have a bigger one of these. This is annoying. Okay. Yeah, just barely it fits in this one, but kind of perfect. And this also fits in that. It'll just be up higher again. Okay, fine. It's fine. Okay, yeah, this one just desperately needs a bit of a size up. And I'm gonna try and keep as much of the OG soil as possible because I want to. Do I want to pot it in this? Would that be easier? Potentially. Oh my goodness. There's definitely some mold in it. But I think that is all it is. I don't think it's anything nefarious. Very, very rooted though, so it'll be nice to get it at least a little bit deeper potted. I might actually not even put a layer of soil in the bottom. Just go straight in with it like this. Because then I can get more of the plant underneath the soil, which I think is what it needs to stand up straight, because it is so big and heavy. It's been so long. It would definitely be easier with two people. Just one to hold the plant and one to like pour soil in. Maybe I should have done this while Clay was here. I mean, I couldn't really have though, because the new leaf was coming out and I didn't want to risk that leaf being funky. It's this leaf here. And so it's still a little bit fragile, but I didn't want it to affect the growth of that leaf. So I thought better safe than sorry and do it on my own a little bit later. Alright, that's the end of my soil. Now I've got a few small pots left worth, but that should be good. I have a feeling this is not going to go down quite as far as I might want it to. anymore, but that's okay. I can still use it and take the measurement with a little bit of a grain of salt because it's not like super deep. But I managed to bury like all of the bottom of the plant here, which is kind of the most important part, because now all of that can grow roots and kind of be a steadier, because it's very wobbly at the minute. So fabulous. And normally this chair is where I am, but I needed the room to do the big repots, so I moved it. But it's really nice to sit here in this chair. I don't do it all that often because I've got my desk right next to where you are, but it's nice to be able to sit here and have a nice plant nearby. Oh my gosh, I really desperately need to hoover in here now because I've got so much soil and sphagnum and dust all over the floor. I guess that's the next job. And then we can fertilize everything. Oh, yeah. Then we can fertilize everything. Okay. So I've got my 2 liters of water. And then what's this say? Shake well before use. And 1 ml per 5 liters of water. My thing is 2. So that's not very helpful. I guess I'll just do not even 0.5. Can you see that on the pipette? It's not even 0.5, so I'm gonna do that. And then I don't think this is one of the ones that you need to like let sit before you put your fertilizer in, so I'm just gonna vibe it. This one says 1 to 3 ml per liter of water. Because it's a new fertilizer for me, and I don't know if it's suited for, I mean, it said online that it is suited for indoor use, but like, not specifically. I'm just gonna give it the lowest dose, so 2 ml for 2 liters. Oh my gosh, it's red, like bright red. Do you see that? Look at that. Okay, so that's A. And I have also written on the pipettes I have A and B. I don't know if that's even something that you need to do, but I figured that if they have them bottled separately, there's probably a reason why they shouldn't be mixed together in advance. So I'm not gonna mix them together in advance. Oh, what's this one? This is the same, 1 to 3 ml per liter. So if I go for 2, that'll be perfect. This one is more of a clear color, and then mix those all in. Unlike other fertilizers I use, this one didn't have a ratio different for semi-hydro and normal soil. So I just went on the lower end, and I'm just gonna do it for a while at that, just so I can keep an eye on the plants, make sure they're not getting burnt. And if I am starting to see like decent results, things seem to be happy, then I can go in with a more intense dilution. I'm not gonna water my TCs with this yet, just because I want to give them a very diluted strength the first time I give them fertilizer, and I'd prefer to give them fertilizer that I'm familiar with than one that I'm not familiar with, which I think is kind of reasonable. So there we go. I can take 2 more things off the list, and aside from the Splendid extension, which I can't do yet, I ticked everything off my list, and some. I've had such a good day getting this stuff done, and I feel like my collection is much happier for it. I really hope you enjoyed spending the day with me. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future, and subscribe for more. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to keep growing. Bye!